Dearest Daniel Rand, the 66th Iron Fist, Daredevil 2.0, one of the many amazing Spider-Men, the Thunder, Immortal Moon Knight, currently the Ghost Fist. This is the Iron Fist I grew up with, the one that shaped who I am as a person and would love to see the most in any Marvel game, including Marvel Rivals. Though there are a few hiccups in regards to getting Danny into Marvel Rivals, but I think I know exactly how this is going to go, even with the current inclusion of the 67th Immortal Iron Fist, Lin Lie. No shade towards Lin, I actually love him, but it was disheartening to discover that I wouldn't have the opportunity to play Danny again. But there are a few little details inside Rivals over the past year that have led me to believe that Rand will eventually actually be a part of the roster. Like, obviously, the first one is money. Netease loves money, and the Marvel fanbase is really vocal about their love for certain characters, Danny being a beloved character tied to the Iron Fist title, and along with the fact that they have been very adamant about not making skins of other characters over one person. None of the several Spider-Man skins are of any of the other Spider-Men, just Peter Parker. There are none of the various other Hulks over Banner, none of the Stepford Cuckoos over Emma, no Madeline Pryor over Phoenix, no Iron Men like War Machine over Tony, or the Iron Patriot. However, there are two major exceptions to this rule. Lin Lie, Iron Fist, and Psylocke, both have outfits of other people who bore their current monikers. Psy has Betsy and Quanon's main outfits in the Vengeance skin and the retro X-Men uniform, while Lin has Danny's Immortal Eye of Agamotto look from New Avengers 2010. Does this mean we will not get either of the previous Iron Fist or Psylocke's? I thought so at first, but there's a couple things that really stuck out to me in regards to both. I don't know much about Psylocke, but I know that Betsy Braddock is currently Captain Britain, which gives her the possibility of joining the Rivals roster as the Super Union Jack down the line.
As for Danny,
well, I've been really fixated on him and Lin since the game's release. Well, refixated. Danny's always been one of my fixations. Hopeful that they'll release a more Danny look for this game's Iron Fist. Don't get me wrong, I love the Immortal Eye of Agamotto skin. It's my go-to, but this outfit actually isn't Danny's. If you actually look at the comics that it says it's from, yeah, no, this is an original outfit for Rivals with Danny's mask modified to fit the theme, so, the Danny fanboys can hold off with this little bit to chew on with Lin. Another outfit to look at would be this Phoenix skin. This one is listed as an original design for Lin Lie for the Phoenix/Clintar season, which is quite peculiar considering the Iron Fist, Danny, had his own Phoenix outfit and Feng Jiwu exists, someone who wields the power of the Phoenix Force and the Iron Fist, mentioned in this outfit's description actually. Rather than taking inspiration from either of the Iron Fist and Phoenix collaborations in the past, we just gave Lin a fresh one. There actually has not been any sort of Danny outfit since Immortal Eye of Agamotto. In fact, several of these outfits aren't even the main color combination of the Iron Fist, being green and yellow. Foregoing the green for a second, let's look purely at yellow. Danny Rand, Orson Randall, Feng Jiwu, Jirani, Quan Yaozu, Fan Fei, every single Iron Fist most prominent color is yellow. Sure, Lin has yellow in a majority of his outfits, but if you really pay attention, he has a different main color. Across every single one of Lin's outfits in Rivals, besides Will of Galacta, that one doesn't count, there is a one singular prominent color that isn't yellow, being red. Sure, there is yellow across 90% of his outfits, but red is present in every single one of them. Again, not counting Will of Galacta. I believe this is very purposeful. They want you to know at a glance that this is not Danny. This is the new Iron Fist, the one who did not defeat Shao Lao, but befriended him. The one formerly known as Swordmaster. Why? So there's no confusion in the future when any previous Iron Fist joins, whether it be Danny Rand, Orson Randall, or anyone else. Of course, all of that previous could just be mild speculation and cope, but I have looked into the lore of the game, something most players haven't. If you care at all about Marvel Rivals lore or Marvel Comics lore, be warned that I'm going to talk a bit about both. There's your spoiler warning. Okay, so first off, Rivals has mentioned Dear Danny, but it's not exactly the same as in Marvel Comics, which isn't surprising. For now, we'll say the last thing that happened in Danny's life was the end of it, from his 34th birthday, so no Ghost Fist as of right now. For the time being, forget Undead Iron Fist exists. Imagine there's something better. Danny is mentioned a couple times across a few lore pages, mentioned by name on Daredevil's, but actually shows up in Angela's. After what seemed like an eternity, Angela arrived on Nastrand, Niflheim's infamous shore of corpses. There, some of the most dangerous souls in hell wandered in perpetual anguish. Countless undead soldiers dared to attack Angela the moment she set foot on Nastrand's icy shore, but all were quickly dispatched with her legendary spear, save for one. This soul was different. It radiated with intense energy unlike anything Angela had ever felt before. Even though the warrior it once belonged to was no longer alive, it was clear his spirit had not been snuffed out quite yet. As the warrior's soldier approached, his fist began to glow. The green and yellow tatters of his clothing fluttered in the frigid breeze, revealing a dragon-like symbol tattooed onto his withered, decaying flesh of his chest. "Hold, warrior," Angela said. "I mean you no harm. It is only your queen I wish to shred to ribbons." "Not my queen," the undead warrior said with what sounded like a chuckle. "I only serve Shaolao." "Shaolao?" Angela questioned. "I've never heard of that name before." "You will, soon enough," the warrior replied, "if you want to find Hela." "Is this Shaolao here in Niflheim, then?" Angela queried. "No," the warrior groaned. "She's there, in Kunlun." Angela had heard of Kunlun. It was an enchanted realm that served as one of the so-called 7 capital cities of heaven. Hailing from the one true heaven, Angela had always dismissed Kunlun and its sister cities as nothing more than cheap imitations. But if Hela had sanctuary there, perhaps it was finally time to see if these realms lived up to their name. "How does one get to Kunlun?" "It's a long, winding road," the warrior replied. "But if I could find it, so can you." With that, the undead warrior reached out his hand and opened his glowing fist, revealing a dazzling crystal floating above his palm. It sparkled a brilliant green and was shaped like the dragon on the warrior's chest. "This should lead you there," he said. "A bit of Shaolao's chi, in crystal form." "What can I do to repay you?" Angela asked. "This one's on me," the warrior replied. "Everything has a cost," Angela replied sternly. "Fair enough," the warrior said as he began to walk away. "How about this? If you happen to meet someone named Luke, tell him I said hi. And bye." Angela watched as the warrior lumbered away, looking to the sky with an air of relief when he reached the shore of corpses. "Now, if you'll excuse me," the warrior continued, "my ride is finally here." Within moments, an armored woman descended from the skies on a winged horse. Angela recognized her as one of Odin's Valkyries, tasked with ushering the bravest, most noble souls to their final heroic reward in Valhalla. The warrior climbed aboard the steed, which soon vanished into the thick clouds hanging over Niflheim. So, Angela's lore page actually establishes a few key things for us. Danny Rand is dead, likely the same way he died in the main timeline of Earth 616, on his 34th birthday, when the demon who killed all previous Iron Fists on their 33rd birthday was back with a vengeance. This also just likely happened in more universes than Danny's ascension to Immortal Moon Knight and Timeless Power Man, but that's besides the point. Danny Rand's soul was sent to Niflheim, the land of the dead in Norse mythology, where he still had Shala's chi and guided Angela to Kunlun prior to her release in the events of Season 4 in Kunlun. And the final thing it establishes is that Danny's soul is guided up to Valhalla, the land of glorious heroes within Asgard, or Yggdrasil in Rival's current case. At this moment, being Season 7 in Lower Manhattan, New York, Mayor Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin, has enacted martial law, detained several heroes, and Black Cat steals the Tablet of Life and Time, lost it, and promptly got his ass thrown out of the office. Fisk is no longer mayor of New York City, after losing a tablet tied to life and death. As with all things in Marvel Rivals, the mayor thing is a parallel to real events in Marvel Comics, where Fisk declared an anti-vigilante law as mayor, before disappearing from office, and one Luke Cage became mayor, repealing the Anti-Vigilante Act. Whenever we return to New York, Dear Power Man will be in power, where we'll help Mayor Lucas Cage with whatever superpowered phenomenon is taking over New York this time. That's basically what I believe is hard fact, and we're gonna get into speculation theory territory now. There are multiple methods to bring Rand to the battlefield. If we want the easiest way out and the best way to generate easy hype, the season we return to New York, we continue the story pertaining to the Tablet of Life and Time, and the season is about someone reviving Danny with it, where Power Man and Iron Fist reunite in battle for a Heroes for Hire season. However, that's the easy way, and I also don't believe this is the case at all. Netease has been incredible with their releases, and predictability is not common for them, so I believe there will be layers to this, especially involving lore pages. I believe wholeheartedly Luke will be playable first. We've set up his entrance to the game twice. First in Angela's lore card, where Angela is going to hold up her end of the deal by passing Danny's farewell to Power Man, and the story of New York in Season 7 mirroring his rise to political power in the main Marvel timeline. There are many characters in New York that could drop alongside the guaranteed Vanguard with bulletproof skin. We could assume Jessica Jones, Misty Knight, or Colleen Wing for a Defender season, or Elektra as Goonerbait and an Easy Duelist, but regardless, it will be sort of a swerve to make people truly believe Danny's not going to be playable, but Luke will be some kind of closure for his best friend. Then there will probably be some foreshadowing, likely, through lore pages and dialogue, and the dialogue possibly pertaining to Hela. Now, on to the next stage of our Heroes for Hire becoming rivals. As of Season 7, Yggdrasil is already a playable location within the game, both a domination and convoy map, currently lacking in a convergence map as well as whatever side modes Netease decides to implement, such as Resource Rumble or the Conquest mode. There will be a future season where all Asgardian characters are busy, possibly during the Tournament of Immortal Beasts we're set to start, and Yggdrasil ends up going through a major event, such as one of the two dooms bringing about Ragnarok or some sort of siege. With Thor, Hela, and Loki busy alongside Angela's lack of stake in Yggdrasil, Odin will choose a champion to defend Yggdrasil during his Odin sleep. The next Yggdrasilian season, Danny, Rand, and Valkyrie will become playable characters, with Danny becoming an avatar of the Allfather, just as he's been the Fist of Khonshu and the Fist of Osiris in other timelines. Asgardian gold would replace most of his normal outfit's yellow, and his costume would be a blend of his usual and Odin's, as seen in this portrait in the Royal Palace map, where the collar matches the Iron Fist look a little bit more than it should. Together, Valkyrie and Danny will take out Surtur, Frost Giants, Dark Elves, or whatever else is currently threatening Yggdrasil, using a flying Pegasus and a dramatic punch. Then Danny will be permitted to fight further during the time stream entanglement. Anyway, let's explain a bit of that, and why I believe this is what Netease will do, besides copium. Firstly, Yggdrasil's dilemma was never truly solved. Odin is still trapped in Odin sleep, and Loki's on the throne. There is more story there, so we will return. We simply need more characters to release with it. Valkyrie is an obvious choice, being Asgardian, possible Goonerbait, and is already listed to have a hero ID in the finals, though that's not a guarantee because some IDs have been replaced for others. As for Danny, we've established that his soul was taken up to Valhalla, which is in Yggdrasil. Within the pages of Adam Warlock's lore, Odin can communicate telepathically with certain powerful beings like Adam. These beings are supposedly gods or other deity-adjacent creatures, which Danny is tied intrinsically to one of them. We've established that Danny is part of Shao-Lao's chi, even after death, as that's how Angela discovered Kunlun, which Shao-Lao is an ancient deity-like being. It's very possible Odin was able to reach out to nearby divine presence to communicate with Danny, choosing him to act as his fist, paralleling his current Undead Iron Fist run as the Avatar of Osiris. It would parallel his main theme throughout Danny's main hero years, the Outsider. Rand was always a fish out of water, the white boy in Kunlun, the man-child in Rand Industries, the rich white guy in the Heroes for Hire, the ultra-powerful nuclear bomb that's grouped up with street-level heroes. Danny never quite fit perfectly in any situation. He would be the Midgard-born, protecting Asgard, immortal protecting literal gods, just as he was meant to protect Kunlun as the Iron Fist. His role was to guard the pass, keep out anyone who could possibly find the gate to find the Heavenly City, despite the fact he was an outsider who wound up there by circumstance. And when the fight in Yggdrasil is over, just like defending the gate, he's going to go out there and fight wherever there needs to be fighting. We can have some cute moments between himself, Lin Lier, Daredevil, Luke Cage, whoever. But it's just the perfect parallel for Rivals to take, on multiple fronts. If this doesn't happen, then I just don't get Danny. Anyway, that's my copium talk over. If this turns out to age really horribly, that simply sucks. If Netease stumbles upon this and it wasn't part of the plans, I hope they steal it. You have my full consent. Anything for Danny to be playable. I'll voice him if need be. If you made it to the end, I hope you are well fed, hydrated, and have a wonderful day. Ignite the battle.